This is a KLFY Plus original podcast, Candid Conversations with Lainey Miller.
Welcome back to another Candid Conversation. Our 2023 Remarkable Woman winner here in Acadiana is joining me this morning. Thanks so much for joining me, Miss Pat.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so you were recognized for your passion for veterans. That started with you pushing your son to join the military, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell me that story.
Well, it started when, of course, I'm one of those mothers. I'll be honest. I put him in the service. I encouraged my son to join because he had gone to college, Grambling State University, and college is not for everyone. So we realized after a year and a half that it wasn't for him. And of course, I contacted the recruiting officer at that time and just kind of encouraged him, and we signed him up.
What
I'll
did
never
he
forget.
say? Yeah.
Well, I think he was ready in a way because, I didn't want him to just be out there doing nothing. And so at that time, I'll never forget this. I had a conference in New Orleans, and I took him with me. So he stayed with me, and the day that he got ready to go to be sworn in, oh my God, that was like I was right there with him every step of the way. And I'll never forget, I asked his sergeant to please allow me to see him before they would depart for Fort Benning, Georgia. So I go back to the hotel, attend my workshops, and I get a call, and he says, "Mama, we're leaving." Oh my God. I was devastated. And all kinds of things went through my mind. Mm-hmm. So I went to the concierge desk. I was staying at the Marriott Hotel in New Orleans on Canal Street. And I told him what was going on. I said, I have to see my son before he leaves. He joined the Army. He's on his way to Fort Benning, Georgia. I need to see him. And that young lady called a cab. And excuse me if I get emotional because I don't even remember. I just remember getting in the cab, and I talked to that driver. He took me to the airport, and they were all waiting for me. So whatever she did at that moment, I can remember it because all I wanted to do was to see him before he would leave for basic training. I got there, and things are different now. I was able to go right through. When I got to his terminal, his sergeant was waiting, and he just let him off the plane. And I can just remember embracing him, just hugging him tight and, wishing him well, letting him know that he's doing a great job. He's going to serve his country. Everything's going to be fine.
Wow.
So they gave us that moment. And when it was time up, his sergeant did that. And so we waved by, and I just kind of melted in the airport for a while. And I had two former classmates that live in New Orleans, and I called them to come pick me up. They brought me back to the hotel, and I was good. So unknowing a lot of things that I know now or I learned through the years, I kept trying to reach him. And so I wrote this letter to his sergeant at Fort Benning, Georgia, and he wrote me back. He says, "Ma'am, your son belongs to us now. You will not hear from him until he has completed his basic training." I say, oh my God, what am I doing? So that was kind of relieving to know. Mm-hmm. He went to Fort Benning, Georgia, did his basic training. A year later, he was sent to Korea, where he was on the DMZ border, what they call the demilitarized zone. Stayed there for a year in Korea, South Korea, came back, and we were good. We made sure that we visited him, attended whatever the Army had to offer at the time for families. But what started it all, Lane, with me, I got that call from him. He says, "Mama, I broke line. I'm on my way to Saudi Arabia." And bloop, that was it.
Oh, he hung up?
Yeah, he had to. And I'm watching all of this unfold on TV. He was infantry. He was on the front line. And, of course, I didn't know what to do. I'm just sitting in my living room, just twisting my fingers and stuff, not knowing what to do, and just waiting and watching TV. And here we are getting ready to go to war. And that was an article that appeared in the Advocate in Baton Rouge, where some students from a school were sending care packages to soldiers overseas. And it just so happened that my son received one of those packages. And in the note that he sent back, it said, please get in touch with my mama and have her send cookies for me and others. And I still have that article. But it was our local reporter, Bobby Ardoin, who got in touch with me at the time and shared that information with me. And of course, the local people, I knew there were other mothers and fathers and relatives, family members who had, sons and daughters that were sent to war. So what we did, we partnered with the local newspaper at the time, and we asked them to send us pictures of their sons and daughters who were serving in the military and who were sent, to Desert Storm War, and it all began. And so, I don't know, hundreds of families contacted me. We organized a support group called MASH.
What does that mean?
And it wasn't unique, but it was unique to us. It was Mothers Against Saddam Hussein. And we went to work. We had people come in and donated all kinds of non-perishable items. We had a local businessman that donated his building, the late Louis Vivianos, for us to have a headquarters because I was operating out of my house. And it was in Opelousas. And many of us came together, and we just got together, and we got the soldiers' name and addresses, and we would send care package every week. We had a local lady who worked for the post office at the time, and we just had meetings, prayer meetings, and we supported each other during that time. Fortunately, we didn't lose anybody during Desert Storm War, but our group stayed together for like 5 years after the war. We participated in parades. We traveled all over the state as MASH, and our motto was, tell our troops come home. And our troops did. We had a big welcome home party for them, and it was good. It was a good feeling. My son came home along with other sons.
That is awesome. And now he's a veteran, but we'll talk more on what you do for veterans right after this break, Ms. Pat.
Candid Conversations with Lainey Miller.
Welcome back. Talking with Miss Pat, our 2023 Remarkable Woman winner. So you sent your son to the Army, but like a good mom, you sent him there and you didn't leave him. You were writing letters back and forth. You started MASH, and now you started a Veterans Memorial in St. Landry Parish?
Yes.
Okay, how did that happen?
Well, fortunately, we had no casualties during Desert Storm. Most of our sons and daughters came back home. We got back to normal after about 5 years. And fast forward, 2004, in January, this mother lost her only son, Staff Sergeant Craig Davis, if I may call his name, who had spent 20 plus years in the military, who was going to retire in June of 2004. And I received numerous phone calls because of my support group. What are you going to do? And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. I watched the news, and I can feel her. And all I can think about, my only son came home. What can I do? I asked myself that question. So, of course, I went before our parish council back in 2004 and asked them to just acknowledge this young man by maybe placing a monument or something, I don't know at that time, for Mrs. Davis. And of course, it didn't happen. And I kept going back and forth. And finally, I was asked to come up with something to honor all military personnel who were killed in action.
Wow.
That was a big, big request. And so from 2004, we lost Staff Sergeant Craig Davis in January. And during this journey, we lost another soldier, Staff Sergeant Jonathan Reed, and then we lost another one, Lance Corporal Ma Sebastian. And at the time, it was like, okay, we have to do something. So, of course, I formed a small committee at that time, very small, working from my house, trying to get people aboard to, what are we going to do? We have to come up with something to pay tribute and honor to those fallen. And at the time, 2006, this went from 2004, 2006, we had lost 4 young men.
Who, their mothers were members of MASH?
No.
Or just local?
No, they were not. They were just families who were grieving from the loss of their sons. And so I knew at that time that I had to just kind of speed up things and do something. Didn't know what to do. We went and tried to secure funds, tried to secure land, tried to do a lot of things. And when I received an email from now State Senator Brock Myers that his father, Keith Myers, wanted to see me in his office in Lafayette. And I kind of put together a little portfolio. I went to see Mr. Myers and his board at that time in 2006. And they said, we're going to help you. What is it that you want to do? And I said, we want to come up with something to honor our fallen, not just those in the Iraq war, Afghanistan wars, but all those who were killed in action. And so the work began with the support of the Myers family. We started raising money and having different fundraisers to come up. Of course, we still didn't have a place. We didn't have a home. We didn't know where we were going. We were offered land, but it wasn't the right setting. Mm-hmm. It was like, okay, no, you can't put a memorial here. You can't do it there. So we continued to work, though. We continued to support the families. Our small volunteer group continued to have meetings, prayer service, and every opportunity that we had, we were doing things for our families. I went to Baton Rouge with our Gold Star families just to let them know that there were people out there that cared for them. And finally, I have to say, because of the Myers family, they started the ball rolling. Well, in 2012, let me back up a little bit.
Okay.
We started selling bricks, memorial bricks, and we met with this guy. The Myers was able to secure an architect. A statue was even built.
Wow.
Everything was done, and we still had no place to put up a memorial. I received a call from the late Bobby Dupree. Bobby Dupree was just a kind, giving man. And at that time, he told me he wanted me to meet him. And this was in 2012. He said, I need you to meet me somewhere. I said, well, Bobby, I can't meet you now. I said, it has to be in a week. Because at that time, I was in Houston. My oldest sister was very ill, and I went to spend some time with her. He said, well, when you get back, he said, give me a call. So make a long story short, I called him when I was on my way back. He said, let me know when you get to Lafayette, Louisiana. I said, okay. So I called him. I said, Bobby, I'm in Lafayette. He said, I want you to meet me on Highway 182. He said, off Harry Gilbo Road. He said, turn left in this white house. And he said, just meet me there. And my mind was like, because Bobby was so community oriented. I don't know. I said, oh God, here's another project that somebody want me to take on. Well, I get out the car, and there was Bobby Dupree, the late Bobby Dupree, the late Harvey Darbone, who was on my committee, also a military guy, and Andrew Gidros. And I'm like, what's up? Because there was this White House on this property. And I'm like, oh, God, I'm going to have to go meet someone. So I get out of the car, and we're standing under the tree. And he said, he used to call me little girl. He said, little girl, he said, this property is yours. And I said, what? I said, what do you mean? He said, this property is yours. It's 2.5 acres. You have 5 years to build a memorial. And if you don't build it in 5 years, it will result back to me. I did the happy dance.
Oh, wow.
So I was so elated. I just jumped for joy and
I love it. You were named Remarkable Woman back in 2023 for all of this effort, for recognizing our veterans here in Acadiana, and you got $1,000 to go to a nonprofit of your choice. And so I want to ask what you used that money for right after this break.
Thank you.
Candid Conversations with Lainey Miller.
Welcome back. Miss Pat, you got $1,000 to the nonprofit of your choice for winning Remarkable Woman. Who did you give that money to?
We donated that money to the Cerebral Palsy Clinic in Opelousas, which not just serve Opelousas, but St. Landry and Acadiana. And the reason that money was donated there because Bobby Dupree, who donated the land for us, as well as started another project for us, was very passionate about the Cerebral Palsy Clinic. This is a clinic that serves these children and their families, and they pay nothing. So that's where our money went to.
So what exactly does it do, the clinic?
It provides service, health services for them.
How sweet.
And therapy of that type. And for years, Bobby did Breakfast with Santa to help raise money for those kids. Most of them have muscular problems. They're wheelchair bound or whatever, but that clinic provides all the therapy and the help that they need.
I love it. What a nice way to say thank you to Mr. Bobby by investing in his cause too. So all these years later, I mean, it's only been almost 3 since you were named Remarkable Woman. Why do you think you were nominated and chosen to be Remarkable Woman?
Well, I think I was chosen because of the strong commitment of volunteers that supports me and has allowed me to do the things that we've done. You have to remember that our first support group was totally volunteers. And this went from 1988 to like 1995. And then we jump into 2004. And of course, strictly volunteer, no income or anything, strictly. And I think it's because what we do it from our heart. And the journey hasn't been easy, but I stayed on course. And sometimes when God puts something in front of you to do, he never says that it's going to be easy. So we just found a way to move all the stepping stones and just kind of keep going. And it happened because of good people. Supporters know that we had a mission, and our mission was to honor all our fallen heroes from World War I up to the present. Our mission is to honor their families, and the most important thing is to teach our younger generation that we should always be appreciative, humble, and grateful for our military. whether we have someone serving in the military or not, we should be, because they put their lives on the line for us every day, whether it's during wartime or peacetime. We should appreciate our country's military. And I knew after our first fallen that God put this in my path, so I have to continue, because everything works out in its own way. It's hard now, don't get me wrong. It's very hard, but we have such good supporters.
Okay, so you just said you have to continue. Is there anything that's changed since
Oh,
being
yeah.
Remarkable Woman? What's new?
Absolutely. We were working toward a welcome center. Our memorial is located on Highway 182 South in Opelousas, and we never had a place. We were always out in the element. We didn't have a building. We would meet families. We would have activities out there at the memorial. And since then, February 17, 2024, we dedicated our welcome center.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, and I want to tell you, because of our state senator, Gerald Boudreaux, the late Bobby Dupree, our state representative, Dustin Miller, also the parish government council, our parish president, Jesse Bellard, and supporters like regular individual citizens, organizations, they made it happen. The late Bobby Dupree donated the first $25,000 toward that building.
Wow.
He did not live to see it go up, but we went before the parish government to ask if we could name it. So it is named in his honor, the Bobby Dupree Welcome Center. So that happened all during my remarkable year.
I love it.
So yes, we have done that. And we journey with our military throughout the year. We host our Memorial Day, where we recognize our Gold Star families, and not only those who were killed during the Iraq and Afghanistan war. We do roll call for all the wars. We have a beautiful Memorial Day program. We recognize Flag Day on June 14 at the memorial. We do the commemoration of September 11 on the courthouse steps on 9/11, which that will be celebrated the 25th year coming up next year. We host Veterans Day, which we have a tremendous support. And this, we also host an appreciation gumbo for the last 6 years for our veterans. And we do, in conjunctions with Reefs Across America, we do Reefs Across St. Andrew Parish, where we recognize our families of the fallen and families who have veterans who are no longer with us.
I love it. You spend all of your time honoring other people. Right after this break, I want to hear about your experience being honored in Los Angeles.
Thank you.
Candid Conversations with Lainey Miller.
Welcome back. Miss Patricia, Miss Pat, you got to show us your Hollywood star. I had no idea Remarkable Woman winners were given a Hollywood star. Tell me about your trip to Los Angeles.
Well, first of all, it was just a remarkable experience. From the day I left here until the time I arrived in Los Angeles, the most rewarding part of that trip was meeting other women who are doing either programs like I have or just making a difference in their community, in their city, in their state. I think I had the opportunity to meet over 112 women.
Wow.
And I just sat back and said, oh my God, I'm doing nothing compared to what they're doing. But it was fast paced. We got to enjoy each other's company. We shared stories. We got to listen to other remarkable women. And of course, I have my own Hollywood star that they gave all of us.
Well deserved, well earned. You also got some of the other women's autographs.
This was the program with the
How
other
sweet.
women's listed in the book. And of course, me, no one is a stranger.
Right.
So I got to practically meet with all of them. Got their autographs, real nice notes that were written to me by some of them. And my favorite one This one was from Mona Holland. She won the big prize. She was fantastic. She told me, "You remind me so much of my aunt. You give of yourself all the time." But these women from across the United States of America were remarkable. Some of them we kept in contact with each other for a while. But that was my most rewarding experience, learning about them and engaging in the different activities that were provided for us. Just awesome. I cannot thank, first of all, TV10 and Next Star enough for awarding me that opportunity, because God knows at the time I needed it.
Well, it was well-deserved. Okay, I want to know what you would go back, now knowing you got to meet other remarkable women, you were named Remarkable Woman for all of our area. What would you tell yourself back when you were signing up your son for the military, knowing what you know now? What would you tell yourself?
I guess I would say, well done, because I did it out of a love for him at the time when I signed him up. And of course, I didn't know what he was getting into, but I'm proud of my son. He served this country well. And as I often say, I wish that he hadn't gotten out. And if I had my way, I would put him in today. But he would, if he would hear me say that. But I would say well done, because doing what I did has given me a whole new vision. And look where I am, and look what we have done as a collective group to honor our military and their families. And we're still doing it today.
I love it. Job well done, Miss Pat. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Lane, for having me.
Of course, and thank you for joining for this candid conversation.